Now, Congress recently took their President's Day recess. Now, that is a time where you, as a member of Congress, are supposed to go home and face your constituents, right? That is unless, of course, you're Paul Ryan, who seems to have no interest in meeting with his voters. Now, this is according to The Intercept. House Speaker Paul Ryan refused to hold a single town hall during this recess, leading local activists to appear at his office in Racine to demand a meeting. Others placed a tongue-in-cheek missing persons advertisement on Craigslist, asking for the whereabouts of their elected representative. Ryan, according to this, fled sometime in and around January 20th, 2017, and hasn't been seen since, the ad stated, which I thought was pretty funny to note. Now, what could be more important than meeting with your voters? Oh, right, meeting with the wealthy donors. Newly filed campaign filings show that Paul Ryan, instead of meeting with his constituents, was jetting around the country, bringing in a total of $657,400 in contributions in 9 days. That is $657,400. That is a lot of money. That is so much money that I cannot say it correctly. I'm not used to saying that big sum of money. Now, as The Intercept recently reported, based on fundraising brochures that they had obtained, that Paul Ryan had scheduled a bunch of stops for his Team Ryan PAC in Miami, Corpus Christi, Fort Worth, Dallas, Houston, and Menlo Park, rather than meet with his own constituents. Now, again, that is a lot of money, and he raised it in not a lot of time. So how was he able to raise so much money in such a short amount of time? Well, it was thanks to Supreme Court's 2014 McCutcheon versus FEC ruling. Now, that basically eliminated the cap on the total amount any individual can contribute to federal candidates. Now, there was a limit on this, believe it or not, that was established after Watergate. Now, once this cap was eliminated, Congress then moved to increase party contribution limits, allowing for something called a joint fundraising account. Now, I did a lot of reporting on joint fundraising accounts. During the election, everybody had one. Hillary Clinton had one. Donald Trump had one. Everybody had one. Because, well, that was a way where you could make a lot of money, where you could funnel a lot of money. It was essentially money laundering. And I remember doing a story of Hillary Clinton, her joint fundraising account, raising money through the states and funneling it to her, leaving the states to not have any funding or barely any funding. So these are issues created by McCutcheon and that we're still feeling the effects of. Now, these joint fundraising accounts basically allow candidates to share their fundraising with respective political party accounts. That in turn allows them to take in even more money than they normally would. The Team Ryan Committee distributed part of the money that it raises to the National Republican Campaign Committee, which is the campaign arm of House Republicans. As a result, these joint committees can now receive up to $244,200 per person. Now, according to filings, several donors made 5- and 6-figure contributions during the recess to Team Ryan, including Paul Foster, the chairman of Western Refining, who gave $100,000. Now, another man, Jerome Fallick, oh wow, I just realized what that name sounds like. An executive who runs Duty Free Americas, and 6 members of his family each gave between $10,000 to $15,000. Now, just to show you how much money is flowing into our system, we're going to continue to use Paul Ryan as an example. In the first 3 months of the year, Ryan's joint fundraising committee brought in $17,272,248 in contributions. That is over $17 million. Ryan's affiliated Super-PAC, the Congressional Leadership Fund, also raised $4,496,473 in that same period. So that's over $21 million. Now, the CLF account, which can accept unlimited contributions from virtually any source, was mainly backed by, you guessed it, giant multinational corporations, including Geo Group, which is, of course, the private prison company. They gave $100,000, and Chevron, an oil and gas company, gave $250,000. So, of course, most of that money, giant corporations and giant wealthy donors. Gee, I wonder who they're going to represent. I wonder who Paul Ryan or anybody who gets that money is going to represent. It ain't you. Now, that money, of course, had to go somewhere. And this ties into the Kansas special election. Nearly all of that independent expenditures used in the special election in Kansas came from the Ryan-backed NRCC and CLF, which collectively spent $180,000 on Republican candidate Ron Estes. His opponent, however, Democrat James Thompson, did not receive any significant financial support from the Democratic Party. Why? Well, he was a progressive. And the Democrats, of course, don't want to give money to progressives. They want to crush progressives and then run milquetoast establishment Democrats that are pleasing to their donors. Where the Republicans are like, well, we know Ron Estes. We know he's going to serve us. We know he's going to serve the corporations because we all serve the corporations. We serve Geo Group. We serve Chevron. So, of course, we're going to pour all this money into this race. And they still won with a 6-point lead. That was it. They won by 6 points. With all that money, Thompson made up a 22-point lead. This is a race that the Democrats could have won, and yet they got no outside help. While the Republicans, as you saw, poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into this race. And a lot of it is thanks to these corporations and thanks to Paul Ryan and these ridiculous fundraising laws. Now, you wonder why Washington still loves Paul Ryan? It's an interesting question, right? Well, let me tell you. Now, they always tend to call him, the policy wonk. Oh, he's so smart. He's so good with policy. He's one of the smartest policy guys on the Hill. No. Paul Ryan doesn't even know how insurance works. He's like, oh my God, doing this ridiculous presentation on health insurance. He's like, I just found out that our health insurance model under Obamacare, it made healthy people pay for sick people. Oh my God. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work, dumbass. That's how insurance is actually supposed to work. That's the whole point. So, because sick people can't pay for their stuff on their own. They need help. Idiot. No, you know why they like him? They like him because he can raise money. That's what this is about. That's what Paul Ryan does best. He's the bitch that goes out and begs corporations for money and wealthy donors. That's why they love him. In Washington, it's about how much money you can raise. For not only for yourself, but for your party. And so Ryan's the bitch out there raising money for the Republican Party. That's why they absolutely love him. That's why he's, oh my God, he's such a great, look at the policy wonk. No, this is no dick about policy, but he knows a lot about being on his knees. See, that's what makes him a rising star, or in this case, Speaker of the House. Now, it was the same deal with Tobacco Check Boehner. The guy was good at raising money from, in this case, tobacco companies and being their bitch. See, these people work for the corporations when they're actually supposed to be working for you. So, of course, Paul Ryan didn't show up to meet his voters. He doesn't care about his voters. What he does care is he cares about the money and doing the bidding of his wealthy donors, his wealthy corporate donors. And thanks to Citizens United, McCutcheon, and the other rulings, that job has gotten so much easier. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.